Well, how you doing today, sir?
I'm great, young man.
You
How you
great?
doing?
You great? That's great. Hi guys, this is the Lion Den with Michael Price. I'm Michael Price,
Gary Monroe.
Gary Monroe. I want to thank you for coming, taking your time to come here, and we're gonna talk about why they trying to close down our schools, you know, and the first thing I want to know, when you graduated and where you graduated from.
I'm a 1986 graduate of Jack Yates Senior High School. I'm a 1985 Texas 5A state football champion from Yates High School. I'm here today, man. I've been in this educational fight for about the last 5 years, and I've been watching some things of, you know, how the school district operates and how they deal with African American schools and, you know, Latino schools. And the unfairness of what they've been doing has just driven me to make sure that I keep fighting to make sure that you guys get what you need, not just at Yates, but at every single school in HISD.
All right, so I thank you. First question I have, well, the community meeting we were supposed to have here was canceled.
Okay.
And Jelana Jones, it was canceled because Jelana Jones didn't get invited, right?
Mhm.
That's good. Okay, and I was thinking in my head, I mean, I don't know what law, it says for the trustee to be invited to have this meeting. So can you explain to us why,
Well,
why?
the board, in order to have a community meeting at the school, there's 3 different ways that you can do that. The principal can call a community meeting anytime he gets ready. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
The community can call a community meeting and they can rent the building, you know, if they choose to. And then you can have a trustee call a community meeting and she attends the meeting or whatever. The issue is that right now, I scheduled a meeting for 4:30 that day. And I scheduled it a week prior to the meeting. And HISD knew for a whole week. So if we didn't follow protocol to have this meeting, then you could have let us know in good time. But 4:30 the day of the meeting, you tell us we can't have the meeting. Well, you didn't invite the trustee. Well, I've been calling the trustee for 2 weeks. And when I did speak to her, we only spoke for brief seconds, so there was no way for me to even get it out that we needed to have a meeting and she needed to be there if she could be there. So I think that at the end of it, you canceled a meeting that you knew should have happened, because that meeting was to give clarification and understanding to taxpayers, to parents, to your mom, to let her know exactly what is going on with these school partnerships, charters, whatever they want to call them. But they made sure that we could figure out a way to silence the African American community. But whether you knew it or not, the night before, the affluent white parents on the other side of town had a community meeting at Waltrip, but yet their trustee was not there.
Well, I think, for my feedback, that's absolutely wrong of them. What I'm thinking is like shutting down these schools, and we trying to talk about it, and we trying to ask where our money going to, you know.
Mhm.
But they not putting the money into these schools. We
Well,
want to.
it's a lot of politics with that, young man. It's a lot of things that you guys don't know. They are, so say, not trying to shut down the schools. What we have is schools that are considered improvement required IR. And you have some schools that have been IR 6 or 7 years. You know, and now what's the word I'm looking for? They amended a law, 1842, and now it's 1882. And by them amending this law, then the TEA commissioner, because these schools are deemed improvement required and they're not performing to a certain level academically, then the TEA commissioner can either shut down the school, the district can do a partnership with a nonprofit or a charter school, or they can see right now it just dumbfounds me. They can shut down the school, they can partner the school, or they can come in, TEA, state of Texas, take over the Houston Independent School Board. That's what they can do. But the problem is, the amendment was done in 2015. It was done in 2015. So the $1 million question would be, even though Harold Dutton, State Representative Harold Dutton, co-authored a horrible new bill, what has the school district done from the date that it was authored and passed in the state legislation to make these schools better? You sit in a studio where you have to put cardboard around cameras. You see what I'm saying? You know that as a student in a communications program that you don't even have the right equipment to run your program, but you don't have the right equipment in your African American school. But when you go over to the white school that has this same program, everything is state of the art. So you want my babies at all these schools that are having academic problems to perform on the same level with other schools that have far more resources to address far more issues than you guys have.
Yes. But on the news, I mismistaking that they kicked me out for going to the meeting. I wanted to apologize to Mr. Davis in Jack Yates High School and the two officers here, because I want to apologize to them because I misstated. All they was trying to do is clear the building, so I want to apologize to them. Here at Jack Yates, it's a phenomenal school, you know, but we need more equipment. We need more teachers. We need more students coming to school, you know, because we have a low count of students. But we have to go to break. We will come back in just a minute. So thank you. Welcome back to the Lion's Den with Michael Price. We was just talking about how the schools in the HISD district functioning, and how these schools don't have, the African American schools don't have the white equipment, but the white schools have all the equipment they need. We have a video of you for the Yates meeting. Okay, we have a video of you, and you was talking about how these schools getting shut down and the reason why you was there at night, and I was in the background of the video. Wow. So we're going to show the video right now.
Have a community meeting if a trustee has not been invited. That is a lie. So the bottom line is this here. Councilman Dwight Borges called me. He got wind of this, them putting us out of the school. And he said, on February 12th, you are free, and I will pay for this. Because I asked him, I need to have a community meeting. On February 12th, he will open the Third Ward Multipurpose Center for us to have this community meeting. And what HISD needs to clearly understand, Greg, is I have some Cashmere Rams out here. I have some Wheatley Wildcats out here. I got some Worthing Colts out here. I got some Madison Marlins out here. And I am a Jack Yates Lion. And it's far more of us than 9 trustees. We got Jones out here. What you are trying to do to our school is exactly what you did to Jesse H. Jones.
Yes.
That's what you're trying to do. But we will not stand by and allow this to happen. You will not get your bulldozers into our schools. You will not finish building our schools. What you will do is create World War III. Us against you. Because bottom line is, HISD, you work for us. Mr. Trustee, Madam Trustee, you work for us.
Who is a trustee?
So the trustee of District 4 is Jolanda Jones. 100% of the schools, 100% of the schools that are facing this charter partnership comes from the black trustees districts. That is Jolanda Jones, Rhonda Skillen Jones, and Wanda Adams. How do you say we don't care? For the last 5 years, I've been to those board meetings, and I don't respect any board member at this point saying that Anna Eastman was the problem, Mike Lunsford was the problem. Hold on, you black trustees sat there and did nothing. You did nothing, and you also voted on some things that hurt our schools at the same time. So you will not escape what you've done. And what they've done is they drew a line in the sand tonight. You said that we could not use a building that we pay taxes on.
Right. Yes,
You said that our votes do not count. And I say that it is time to get rid of any elected official, whether black or white, that is not serving their community in the capacity that they need to serve it. As a Jackie A's line, you will never close this school until we say it is closed. Because the problem with that is, Greg, HISD didn't open this school. The Reverend Jackie Ace opened.
Amen.
You didn't pay a dime to open Worthen.
You sure right.
Amen.
Evan E. Worthen paid for that.
Got that right.
So it's time for these people to stand up for their community
They need to look
and
at
for the people that put their time and effort into these communities to make sure that we can have a quality education. If we in the middle of segregation,
That's true.
then it's
History, talking about the key players we had here.
We want to thank y'all for watching the video. As y'all see me in the background. But yes, you was talking about how they trying to shut down these schools and why they trying to change these schools to charter schools. And you said as a Lion that will not be closing down the school. There will be a fight. And most of the third world community and some actors and some football players came to this school, and there will be a fight between Third Ward and the school district.
well, they per se do not want to close Yates. I don't think it's a public official that has the guts to say publicly that they would want to close Jackie A. Senior High School. They're not going to do that. So what they're going to do is they're going to kill everything that feeds to it. We only have one middle school as a feeder school, and that's Cullen Middle School. That's it. But Cullen is on this list for one of these restart plans. Now, if they restart the school, what they do is they get rid of the whole population, the student population. They only are going to bring back 6th grade with a limited amount of kids. The 7th and 8th graders would have to go to another school. So my question now becomes, if we lose our 7th and 8th grade class from Cullen, where would they end up in middle school? If they're not close to us or zoned to us, they're not going to come back. So no, I didn't say, people are out saying, trustees are out saying that, you know, people are saying that they want to close Yates. I never said that. I said you're closing everything that feeds to it. But you do have schools that they want to create a partnership with. You see what I'm saying? Or they want to restart. Let's get this straight. The way that the law is written, you don't have to say you don't have to say charter to make it be a charter. If I own a school and you become my partner, and the way the law is written, you can come into the school once I partner with you. I have no say-so on anything you do now. That means if you want to get rid of the student population, you can do that. That means if you want to fire all the teachers, you can do that. You see what I'm saying? So that is the problem. But more importantly, what else is it for these people to take away from a school like Yates and Worthen? You already don't have anything. You see what I'm saying? You have cameras rigged with cardboard in here right now. What else is there to take away from you? Okay, you're limited on the number of teachers that you have. So if you lose, they have to do a reduction in force. That means they have to get rid of teachers. If you lose teachers, your classrooms become overcrowded. Now, you're a student at Yates, am I correct?
Yes.
Can you honestly admit that you don't have classrooms in this school that have 30 to 40 kids in it right now? We got classrooms that are that big. So if you lose more teachers, those classrooms are going to get bigger. Now, as a student, and you're sitting in these classrooms with all these kids, there's very limited learning.
Yes, and it's hard when more teacher is in there, and it's hard to learn. But look, the thing is, some students is not coming to school, and the less students we have, the less funding we get, because the students, order for this school to get funding, the students have to come, and we have to. And the school is trying to engage the students to come.
Now, I want you to understand something, because, of course, they are going to tell us that's how it works.
Yes.
You have less students. I'm sorry. You have more students at Yates than they have at HSPVA. So why they get more money than you? It's all set up a certain way. You're only supposed to get a limited education. You see what I'm saying? An education here is not the education you're going to get at Lamar. It's not the education you're going to get at Bel Air. It's not the education you're going to get at HSPVA.
Yes.
It's not that. So they want you to believe that they fund schools on the number of kids. But if that's the case, how does HSPVA get more money than you when you have actually 300 more kids than them?
So it's all built on lies.
Everything is let me just say this here. Everything is not truthful, what these people are saying. And point blank, for people that don't understand that statement, it's all built on lies. It's all built on lies. School choice is built on lies.
Okay. So, guys, we're just going to come back. We are going to commercial break. So when we come back, we're going to be going more in detail with the schools and what HISD doing, So let's go to commercial break, and thank you. Welcome back to the Lion's Den with Michael Price. And look, the question is, how is the community is going to act with these partnerships and charter schools and whatever y'all want to call it.
There was a community meeting last night at Phyllis Wheatley High School, the first one in the 14 community meetings that they would have. That it was a very, very hostile meeting. And the guy that authored the bill, co-authored the bill, State Representative Harold Dutton, was at that meeting. And I thought Dutton would need security coming out the building. That's how serious it got last night. The adjustments that are going to have to be made for these parents that have children that are going to have to shift schools or, whatever they feel, charter partnership, whatever you want to call it, the community is not prepared anymore to make those necessary and, adjustments for HISD. What's going to happen is simple. We're going to go to the streets. One board member said, all y'all going to do is protest. But yes, we are going to protest. But we're going to protest at your church. We're going to protest at your house. We're going to protest at your favorite restaurant. We're going to protest when you're dropping your kid off at school. We're going to be everywhere that you are. And we're not going to allow you to think that you're going to shove this down our throats. Bottom line, we deserve the opportunity for our babies to be able to go to school and have the same type of learning environment that they have everywhere else. And if that's not what you want to give us, then it is us against you. I am not in any means or any way threatening anybody. I am making you aware of what's going to happen.
Yes. And if this happened, I will be the first one. I want to lead it on. I want to promote it. I will promote this, because I don't want no black African-American school to be shut down. And, I love this school. I love Yates. And I went to Worthing for 2 weeks when I was in 9th grade. That was a beautiful school. But the thing is, if they trying to do these partnerships and these
restarts.
Yeah, restarts with these schools, where are they gonna get the money from?
First of all, we owe the state of Texas $250 million right now. Next year we're gonna owe $350 million. The year after that we almost owe $500 million.
So why do we owe the state of Texas?
Because we're considered a property-rich district. So money that's coming off our tax rolls, they didn't want to give that up, so they decided to do what they call a recapture payment.
Yes.
Now, when you do the numbers, and we did the numbers didn't add up. We would go broke anyway. They should have never done it. They should have fought it in court and did what they needed to do. So, a lot of people right now have a lot of opinions. They know so much about this. I want to say this. Fort Bend, you got your chest poked out right now. They coming to see you. Spring ISD, they coming to see you. So don't think HISD will be the only ones that have to deal with this. They've dealt with Waco, they've dealt with Dallas. They're coming to see you. But the question now becomes, do you have the ability to stand up to this bully, which is TEA? That's all it really takes. But when you cutting side deals or deals under the table for them to take your schools regardless, then you get to the point where you don't want to fight. But us out here that have to live in these communities that will be decimated, those of us out here that will live in these communities where the crime rate will go up, we say enough is enough. And we're prepared to fight with everything in our power.
Yes. And I see what you're talking about. And that's great. And as a student here, I will be, doing a lot of these interviews and doing a lot of these, but if it's time to take action, I will help. If it's time to step up, I will be there.
Let me say this, Mike. During the civil rights era, that era was mostly young people. It was young people in the ages of you guys that are in here helping me with this interview, doing this interview for me. We have to understand that we're in the middle of segregation all over again. We are in the middle of segregation all over again. So it's not an if and a but. Will you do this? You're going to have to.
Yeah.
Or the future that you think that you want, which is to be the next Roland Martin, will never happen. So you don't have a choice in the matter either. The older people have done their work. They've sat at those lunch counters. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
When is the last time you went to a restaurant and had to get your food at the back door?
Never.
Somebody put the work in so you didn't have to do it. So it's time for you guys to understand you have to be the ones to lead this revolution.
Yes, sir. We as a community, several students here, we trying to set up a fundraiser for the School of Communications to get more money in so we can do more interviews outside the school so we can see what the community want.
Well, let me tell you what I thought y'all wanted. This is what I did. Is I went to HCC and got a dual credit program. It's coming in your new school. And we're creating an entertainment entrepreneurship academy for your School of Communication.
Yeah.
We got an additional $10.5 million, and a portion of that money is building you guys right now a multi-million-dollar recording studio so that you can learn how to record your own music, engineer your own music. You will learn how to shoot your own videos. Okay. It's a dual credit program, so when you graduate, you should graduate with your associate's degree in entrepreneurship. You see what I'm saying? As well as your diploma from high school. But we have to keep setting up programs. We have to stop leaning on just Roland Martin to come through with money. We as Jackie Yates Lions have to step up, and we have to pitch in and give money to help our kids because the district's not going to do it. So don't worry. You got some help coming, my brother.
Yes, and I want to thank you. Thank you for what you did for us in the third world community. Not only the third world community, other blacks community, because the school district, they not doing nothing for us, but the concept is so originally Jack Yates High School was originally at Ryan Middle School. Now is the Baylor Is it Baylor College?
Baylor College of Medicine at Ryan.
Baylor College, yes. We was originally there, but in 1950, it was 1950s, right? They built a new school. This was that school.
Yes.
And they built this addition in 1985. Yes. And now they're building a new building. And I'm glad for the new building. I'm thankful we're having a new building so we can, get this started and get this up right. But the thing is, once the new building set up, they're gonna tear this down. So instead of tearing this school down, I want it to be like a museum of who came to this school and what classes they was in. I want this to be a monument.
Let me say something. We're past the point of trying to save the old building. We tried, and you had some folk that wear our same colors, and they backdoored us. The back of my shirt says it all. You can change the address, but you can't change the legacy.
Yes.
I want you to always remember something, and I'm going to leave you guys, and I'm going to go.
Yes.
That you will be a lot of things in your life. You will definitely be a lot of things in your life. But you'll be a Jack Yates Lion for eternity. They can never take that from you. Look at the gray strings, and I still got the crimson and gold on. It does not leave you. They can't take that away from us. So thank you for having me on, my brother.
All right. I thank y'all who's watching live. I want to thank who's watching on our YouTube channel. We'll have to go. We will have an interview next Wednesday. Well, I can't tell you who he is because it's a surprise. But I want to thank who's watching. This has been The Lion's Den with Michael Price. Y'all can tune in every Wednesday. We will start at 3:45. So yes, thank y'all, and that's the end. Goodbye, guys.